Hi, in this video we are going to talk about a video that has been real popular, which is about the fact that time doesn't exist and the fact that you can therefore change your past. Hello again, I'm Kaylin and this is Living in the Flow. I like to help people really change their mind so that they change their energy and their lives and thus tap into the richness of life and live in the flow. So when I posted previously about the fact that time doesn't exist, which a lot of scientists are now acknowledging, and they see that from a physics standpoint, that kind of thing. And I'll put a link to that video in this description. When we talk about that, one question that can come up for you if you are the kind of pragmatic person who would like to know how you can change your mind that time doesn't exist and change your energy around that and have a different experience, then we can start to ask, well, if time doesn't exist, how can I use that to my benefit? So I did a video about how it means that you can tap into another energy, like an energy in your past, and shift it. So in that video, I showed you how to do that and I walked you through it. Now, some of the questions that came up were, I've heard a lot of gurus say that you change things by changing your perception, and there was some disbelief about that. And there was another question about whether or not you could change an experience, like I left a relationship and I wish I hadn't. So let me start by telling you one of the things about this is that when you're dealing at the level of energy and when you're allowing yourself to shift the energy, you stop dealing at the level of wanting, at the level of getting into emotional entanglements, which is probably one of the best ways I can describe it. One such emotional entanglement happens when you're feeling like you want to change that relationship. You wish you hadn't left the relationship because maybe you think it's affected your life in a negative way. The problem is you've got a judgment going on and you really still have an attachment or a grasping at energy. And with those things going on, you're going to have great difficulty really changing the experience. Truth be told, you're not going to be able to shift the energy of your past unless you are at a place where you aren't pulling for it. You aren't trying to change it so much so that you are so preoccupied with it. In other words, you have to be in the flow. In the flow of energy, you're going to find yourself at a place where if you can change the energy, that's great. And the truth is, you know that you can and you know that you will enhance it, but you're completely not attached to the outcome. That means that you understand that what is, and that the energy that matters is the now moment. From this now moment perspective, you need to do your best. You need to get into the flow of now. And you want to change your mind about the judgment, about trying to change your past. You need to change your mind and realize that everything is here now. When you come from that mindset, you're going to enable yourself to enhance your energy. More specifically, you can't change energy. You can't fix it. You can't modify it. Energy is, and energy flows. Think about the electricity that runs through your house. It flows through a circuit. You can raise the currency kind of thing. You can raise the vibration of energy. You can also lower it, but you can't really change it or break it or anything like that. So when you're in that now moment, when you've changed your mind and you're like, you know what, in this now moment, it's all good. I'm going to let my attachment go. And I'm going to perceive that all is well because it really is. Then you can get yourself into a place where you can shift the energy. When you shift and raise that energy from your past, it can have the effect, and I've seen it in myself and I've seen it in other people, of changing things. And inevitably, if you can tap into the energy and if you can let go of the attachment, then it will. So this is a tricky thing. One of my very favorite things about spirituality is that it is inherently filled with contradictions. There's only the now moment. Time doesn't exist, but you have to do your best all of the time. There's just all of these contradictions that occur because there are truths at different levels, and it's true here, but it's not true up here, and what's true up here isn't true here and here, that kind of thing. So it gets a little tricky to navigate. The only way you're ever going to really navigate your life successfully, let alone working with energy and shifting energy because time doesn't exist and shifting your past, is going to occur when it is that you can let it all go, let it all flow. Get yourself at that place of well-being, because there's only the now moment. If you are wanting to go in the past and you feel like there was something you have to change for reasons of health, for reasons of a relationship, then you're putting all of your focus outside of you. It's not in the now moment. And in order to change the past, you have to be in the now. There's a good contradiction for you, and it's absolutely true. In order to change the past, which doesn't exist, you have to be in the now, because that's all that really does exist. And maybe you get a sense of how it is that that contradiction makes sense, because there's only the now moment. So change your mind. Recognize that you may want to, for example, improve your health. And that's fair, that's valid. I can totally relate and understand that. But you have to be in the flow of the now moment. And when you're in the flow of the now moment, then the truth is you can spread great love, great health, really good vibrations all over your life. And you can certainly also hit the past when you got sick kind of thing. So you can give yourself more well-being. You can give yourself higher vibrating energies, but they just simply are not going to happen while you're judging where you're at, while you're feeling like you made a mistake, while you're feeling like things aren't working. All of those thoughts are going to keep you from now and from tapping into the energy and working with the energy in the now moment, which is your only way to touch all the other energies. So I know that that has some different levels and layers in it. And so if that gets a little crazy and complex, go ahead and post responses to this video, and I'll respond. If it's kind of getting a little too complicated, I'll make another video. It's what I do. I enjoy doing it, so it's not a problem. I'm going to add one last thing. I had someone ask about wasting your energy. So I think this is a really good time to bring up that angle. Now, she asked about wasting your energy relative to something else, relative to, I believe, paying it forward. But what I want you to see is that because your energy's in the now, if you're focusing out here in the past, wish I could change it, and you're kind of experiencing that feeling because you want to change something and something's bugging you, then you're wasting your energy. One reason you're wasting it is because you're not good and in the flow of well-being now. You're trying to go back in the past, and that's a good waste of energy. When you're wasting your energy, you're gonna make your current experience less to your preference. In other words, if you're busy judging and you're busy wanting to change the past, you have that attachment, then one of the problems is you're not honing the energy that is now. And in that way, you're wasting it. And if it were nutrition and if it were food, you're kind of wasting your food and you're kind of starving yourself now, metaphorically speaking. So by doing that, you make your romantic or life scenario worse, you make your health worse, or all of your arenas, all of your life. Have the best life you can. Enjoy the most well-being by getting in the flow now. That is the position of power. That's where your power is. That is your connection to everything. And right now, it may not feel like it, but energetically, everything is wonderful. And the more you can start to believe it, or at least question it and go, well, if that were true, could I tap into the now, find something that's working now, and start to shift things now? Because that would be a great place to start. If you can't shift your now moment, you're gonna have a really hard time shifting your past or your future. All right, thanks for joining me on the video. Thank you for all of the comments on shifting your past since time doesn't exist. Please be sure to like and subscribe. See you next time.